Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your dual dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is Wednesday all day, hump day. Hello, everybody. Well, today's topic is a topic I'm hopeful will help everybody. It certainly has helped me. Do you have a therapist? Do you have a psychologist? Do you have a psychiatrist? Do you have a social worker? Do you have someone professional that you can talk to? It's a rhetorical question because everyone should. I don't care if you're having problems now or if your life is absolutely aces and you're having a wonderful time. These people, the good ones, are really there to help you frame what's going on in your life. People tend to look at things really myopically. Myopically. We don't look at things peripherally. We look at things like this. People. We look at things like this. These are the two things I can see, and that's about it. And that's why psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, social workers, and the like are in business. Because no matter how smart we are intellectually, it is very difficult to get into one's own head and make decisions versus having somebody there to bounce things off of to make decisions. Now, you could argue, I have friends, I have a spouse I love that loves me, we deal with everything ourselves. That's wonderful. But there may come a time where you won't be able to deal with those things yourself. And here's the caveat. Here's the way I after having 45, 48 years experience with this, would have done it. You don't run to the therapist after the problem. In fact, the better analogy is fix the roof when the sun is shining. Enlist a therapist early in your life just to make sure you know one and are comfortable with one. Because when things happen, you might not find the right one and you're going to need one. So you're going to go therapist shopping. And therapist shopping is pretty difficult because you have to endure the sessions with the therapist that you don't like to get to the therapist that you do like. And if you do it prophylactically and line somebody up, interesting. Health is the one thing that people don't take care of before it happens. Think about it. You ever go to the cardiologist before you needed to? You ever go to the dentist before you needed to? You ever go to the eye doctor before you needed to? Most people don't. But if in many cases you were on a path of maintenance, you wouldn't have big problems. That's why the dentists have hygienists now. This was not back in the 60s or 70s, but now they figured out that prevention, even though it's a little bit less profitable than fixing, prevention is what people really need. Well, in our mental health, we need prevention too. And those of us who have mental issues, have depression or any type of issues, often don't even know it until it's too late. And by the time it's too late, I mean, now you're scrambling. Who's in my health plan? I got to find anybody I can. I need somebody. Been there, done that. You don't want to do that. You want to have somebody, not on your payroll, but somebody in your Rolodex that you can say, Dr. Sam, Dr. Samantha, I remember them. They were nice. Do the legwork now because you might not be able to do the legwork then. And it also does not necessarily mean that something bad's happening to you. What if something happened in your family? What if you're dealing with a grief situation? You see, there's going to be a time you're going to need somebody to talk to other than a friend or a relative. And if you do it in the hamster wheel, gotta get somebody, you're going to take one you don't like or not find one. If you take a little bit of this advice, just a little bit, dilute it, don't do everything I'm saying, just take a little bit, a whiff, you'll say to yourself possibly, wait a second now. All I got to do is just meet somebody now and say hi, and I'm not really having a problem per se, but I wanted to introduce myself. The therapist could say, why are you doing this? And know what you're going to say? Because people I know have gone through situations where they didn't have a therapist, and it was terrible. Now, bear with me. if you're sailing along and life is magnificent, you don't have pain, you don't have issues, your marriage isn't an issue, your children aren't an issue, your work is not an issue, you could argue, I don't need to go to a therapist. But if you touch any of the boxes I listed, you do. Because we all do. The stigma is from the 60s, from the 50s. Having a psychiatrist or psychologist means you're a sick person. Bullshit. It means you're getting well. It doesn't mean you're sick. It means you know something's wrong. The definition of ill, mentally ill, is not knowing something's wrong. So you already vacate that entire idea. So now you go to the next thing that would prevent you from getting a therapist. Shame. The shame. Well, there's no internal shame. What if people find out? What if people find out? You know what they're going to say? Gee, you're lucky. You have a therapist. Gee, I wish I had one. Gee, what's that therapist's name? You think this is oddball. Like, why is Senior Stoner talking about this today like this? Because this is the life preserver that's on a boat. Think about it. Here's the answer. Every boat, every ocean liner, every ferry, every pleasure cruise has to have life preserver, life jackets. Why? When you go onto the cruise to the Caribbean, on the Royal Caribbean 1,000-foot ship, 200,000 tons with 6,000 people, and you're partying and dancing. They got cars on board. They got everything on board. Are you thinking about, I'm going to sink? No. I'm having fun. I'm partying. I'm going to be drunk all the time. Whatever you do on a cruise. I'm going to eat my way through the Caribbean. Why do they have life jackets and life preservers? Because it could happen. They are the greatest example. The greatest example. Not the oxygen masks coming down from the plane. It's the life preservers. Because the life preservers really rarely get used. Think about it. Man overboard on a cruise ship. Happens, but it's infrequent. You need to think about engaging a therapist. So you have one on the rack, like the life preservers on the rack, to be used whenever it's needed. If you didn't have a life preserver on the boat, or 1,000 life, or 6,000 life jackets, you'd have 6,000 drowning people. If you don't have a plan for your mental health, you won't have good mental health. This is spoken from somebody who's gone through the trials and tribulations of this bullshit without help, and then finally found help. So the point of all this is we can do better. We can do better with a little help. And there's no shame, there's no guilt, there's no weakness asking for the help. Actually, it's manning up asking for the help. So let's ask, okay? Let's ask for a little help in our lives so we can make things a little smoother for ourselves. Here is our diamonds for the day. These are going to be, Blackwater OG. Here we come. This is going to be tasty. I'm going to put the same dab. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'll put the same amount of dab, but I'll put a different type of dab into each one today. How's that? We'll do a little difference. We're going to do Crimson Carta with Blackwater OG. And we're going to do Magna Carta with Grape Punch. What a nice combination. Beautiful little diamond of Grape Punch packed in along with Blackwater OG. Okay, well, to business now. Oops, oh my goodness. Diamonds aren't forever, I guess, huh? This doesn't want to close. There we go. Okay, here we go. Let's do our crimson first. And by the way, these glasses have just been cleaned. in Isopro with brushes. Cheers, everybody. What a difference a clean vape means. Wow. That was really tasty. True pot flavor in this Blackwater OG. Excuse me. Now let's go to our fruit for the morning. Having a grape today. Cheers. On our Magna Carta. And the dab train keeps rolling, people. You see that come up? Look at that. Isn't that crazy? I can't even smoke more. So, thanks for joining me for the dual dab of the day. Remember, the point of today's discussion is serious. Find somebody professional to talk to if you need to. Do not wait. Have a great Wednesday out there, everybody. Keep your pain to a minimum. Real Senior Stoner. Cheers.